League's community is kinda known for being toxic. Everyone is constantly going for each other's throats, everyone met each other's mother dozens of times, and if there is something the community absolutely excels at, it is threatening Rioters over skins. Especially if your main doesn't get a legendary skin. In fact, skins are generally a massive source of League's drama, because it spans from complaining about the quality, to leaks, to battles between the individual mains. And so, it should be of no surprise that, yet again, a new drama regarding skins has arrived. Though this time, it is slightly different. Because this time the community did something unthinkable. Not only were there no threats, at least just yet, but also the entire community united. And in what feels like millennium, everyone stands together behind the argument that the newest skins are doo-doo. No, really, I have never seen people agree this much. And right now, it really feels like what they are showcasing on PBE might be the worst skins in the history of League of Legends. And while normally beauty is a subjective thing, this time it's not even subjective. Because funnily enough, Riot also knows it's bad. And that's a funny story. So, let's have a look at what happened. Together with the latest PBE build, which showcased all the new icons, and the emotes, which also leaked the newest champion. That is a whole separate drama. There was also an icon for Infernal Nasus, which teased new entries into the Infernal skin line. Not to mention, before that, there was a teaser in the shape of a bird. Now, over the many years, the Infernal skin line was quite a wild ride. If you go way back to Season 2, the Infernal skins were actually quite popular, with Infernal Zyra and Diana generally leading the charge. People simply loved these two. But you have to keep in mind that was within the quality context of the skins that were coming out back then. I mean, just look at what stood besides these. You'll understand why the Infernal skins were so good. But since then, the quality of League skins has moved forward a light year. And what would be seen as a good skin back in the day would only be a mere red chroma these days. So, with the new quality standard being higher, should Riot come back to the Infernal skins, one would expect them to be a bit more creative, right? It will not be just another wave of champions who are on fire. It will totally have new creative pieces, just like Infernal Nasus. Yeah, this doesn't look good. In fact, it doesn't look good so much that no matter where you look, be it YouTube or Reddit, people are flaming it to dust, all puns intended. With the only bright side being that, thankfully, we only got 3 of these skins. But don't worry, this drama got slightly beyond just flaming the appearance. But before we get to that fun part, let's have a look at these skins. The first thing we have to point out is that all of these skins do technically have new visual effects, new spells, new sound effects, and a unique recall. Therefore, as we behold this spectacle, remember these are still 1350 RP skins, not the 975 which people would expect. No, these are premium, and you're gonna like it. So, the first one to take a hit here is Ashe, the one who was teased with the image, who did get a cool recall, but that's kinda all she got. Anything that was ice before is fire now. To be fair, I don't think this skin is that horrible. It is definitely subpar if 5 out of 10 is an average skin. This would be about 3 out of 10. And that's because the context just really goes against what they are trying to achieve here. You see, Ashe is a frosty champion who has a lot of line about true ice. And when she says some of these lines, it is weird to see her shooting fire. But that's not that big of a deal, even though the visual clarity of fire slowing you is not great. What's worse is that this skin doesn't even check off the unique aesthetic box. If you want a fiery Ashe, she already has a skin with a similar theme. Sure, High Noon Ashe might be a bit more of a holy fire, but still, it doesn't really stand out that much. Now, if there is anything at all that I like about this skin, it is that they desperately tried to avoid her being just pure orange fire, which is why they gave her some smidges of purple around the edges. So whoever is the artist who tried to save this, I noticed. The last saving grace here could be the chroma skins though. Because the pure skin is just one color, the chroma skins look nice. But again, that's not something other skins couldn't also achieve. If you ask me, there are things Riot could have done about these skins. I mean, look at Infernal Nasus. They could have easily given Ashe a demonic skull instead of her head. I mean, it is Inferno, which is literal hell. A flaming elk skull would have been awesome, and at least it would have felt different. But no, it is literally just Ashe, but on fire. But you know, why should I be the only one giving constructive criticism? Let's have a look at what the comments have to say. High noon Ashe but burned. Feel winter sting. Shoots fire arrows. Not even with a reroll I would want this 2012 975 RP skin. This is worse than filler slop. I think I just woke up in 2014 League. Ashe with red chroma. I can't believe it took them 13 years to do something like this. This doesn't look too good. So let's have a look at the home turf of Ashe mains. Garbage skin line! I mean, there is really just zero creativity going into this skin line. I'ma die for this! What the? So yeah, besides the very rare outlier, who seems to be a bot, even Ashe mains are not excited. So you can't even argue that this skin was made to please the mains of the champion. So next, let's have a look at Infernal Olaf. Immediately, the first thing you might notice is that the mountain range in the recall is the exact same mountain range as the one that Ashe had in her recall. So already these skins are sharing some of the assets, despite the still high 1350 RP price. And besides that, it is exactly what you would expect. Olaf on fire. His axes are fire, his lightning is fire, his ultimate gives him more fire. It is just a blob of orange fire. And it just happens to be that I remember a fiery Olaf in TFT. So how were they able to achieve that? Oh yeah, Olaf already has the fiery Dragon Slayer skin. So again, this one is not too unique either. And you bet the comments noticed this too. I swear this is a skin that already exists. At this point they should rework the whole skin line, cause this is not 2024 acceptable. Not to be mean, but this just looks like a discount version of the Dragon Slayer skin. And his face looks like Ornn. It looks like this skin line was created 5 years ago. Poor Olaf mains waited so long for this. Speaking of which, why don't we have a look at the Olaf mains? What is that thing on his right eye? A patch? A patch? Looks like I see they still have PTSD from Sentinel Olaf. But now it's time to have a look at the last skin, which was crowned as one of the worst, if not the worst skin in League's history, given the context of the skins that are coming out right now. Infernal Karma. At the slightest glimpse you can see, things are not going to be great. The first thing to point out here is that the recall is kinda cool. And it's not even reusing the mountains from the other skins. But after that, things just enter the meh category. It's just Karma throwing fire. No real flavor, nothing too unique. It's just fire all around. With the model also being incredibly close to just Karma. And here, the comments are hilarious. So how much budget do we have? No, this looks like a 975 RP skin. Such a filler concept. Her mantra Q is just brand. Such a soulless skin line. See, the YouTube comments are already cooking. But then the Karma mains came in and they pointed out something funny. Someone compared the spell effects of base Karma, the Infernal skin, and the Dawnbringer skin. And here it is clear that the Infernal skin is just reusing some of the spells from the base version. Because in comparison, it is obvious that Dawnbringer has just entirely new spells. So of course then, even the mains got cooking. Holy hell, worst Karma skin just dropped. Holy fuck, even the VFX look cheap AF. They took everything that was wrong with the past skins and put them all into this one. They are so creative. I am so sorry, babe. So, this is the current situation. Simply said, everyone hates these skins. But what's worse, some salt was poured into this injury. Because people quickly pointed out that in the past, Riot had some other skins which they didn't think would be up to par, and so they just never released them. Even though people actually like those skins. That's right, remember Zone, Chaos, Blitzcrank and Amumu? These two skins were essentially finished and Riot just never released them. The thing is, compared to the Infernal skins, these are amazing. And with some new spell effects, they could have cleared the Infernals by a mile. That's what's weird about this entire situation. By their own metric, Riot should not release these three skins. But I doubt they will actually do it. Which is where we have to point out one more really funny thing. As I mentioned earlier in this video, while everyone thinks that these skins are not great, Riot knows it too. And I'm surprised I didn't see anyone else point this out. See, if we go back 2 years to the point where people voted on Skarner getting the next VGU, some of you may remember that wasn't the only thing people voted on. Besides voting on a new skin line, which turned out to be Debonair, as well as the Crime City and then even the Pokemon one, people were also able to vote on what skin line would get a rework. And after the Gothic skin line won, we got some of the best skins of that year. The thing is, people were also able to vote on the Infernal skins. Because, as Riot mentioned themselves, this skin line had great potential, but it wasn't up to par. Which means that Riot knows that the original idea of the Infernal skin line is bad. Because during this vote, they already wanted to do something better with it. And even on this poll, as an example, they showed Infernal Akali, who is just Akali on fire with horns, just to show the point. So what did they do when the skin line got more skins? Just more champions on fire, right after a post where they mentioned that these skins were not great. So now, I just don't know how this happened. How is it possible that only 2 years ago Riot said that this skin line is flawed, only for them to make more of these flawed skins 2 years later? It's like someone at Riot forgot that people already didn't like where this skin line was going. So now, given what kind of skins these are, all I can do is add in one more burn. Maybe they forgot because the writers who remembered it were fired. Get it?